Hi everyone, here's Dana Domo. She's the campus director for visitation, correct?
Yes.
And I'm gonna interview her. Thank you for doing this.
Anytime.
So can you please describe your role here at Stetson?
So my role within Campus Visit is to make sure that any prospective student and their family who walks through the front doors here in the Welcome Center have a good experience. So I have the opportunity and pleasure of helping with concierge planning of shadow visits, daily visits, planning of open houses where we'll host up to 1,500 students and parents in one day, as well as I manage 65 student ambassadors who help with giving tours here on campus.
Awesome. What is the biggest challenge associated with being a manager, or with your position specifically?
With my position, or something that I struggle with? Which one?
Either or.
So I think something that I struggle with and something that I work really hard to do and to make sure I'm mindful about is emotional intelligence and making sure that the way I treat you and the way that you like to be talked to regarding like giving feedback may not be the same as another student.
Correct.
So I want to make sure that I'm being mindful of that when I go into a conversation of making the university better, making our students better professionally, that my conversation with one student is not going to be the same as it is with another student. And that sometimes I need to learn to teach more than to just allow you to do whatever.
So very intentional.
Very intentional.
That's great. So what kinds of planning activities do you have to do in your role as a manager, as a director?
Everything has to be planned within Campus Visit because there's a lot of small details, and if you miss a detail, details matter in the role that we have here because it makes a difference in the student's experience. So the biggest things that we plan are open houses and Hatter Saturday, which is our admitted student day that we host in April. So those we'll start planning over the summer prior to even starting the school year, and we'll wrap up planning about 2 weeks before each event so we can go live with it.
So can you give me an example of like planning that goes with that, like from like reaching out to the students or like the pamphlets that you give away, like something like that?
So in our open houses, we have typically 6 to 8 faculty members will come in and actually teach showcase mock classes for us. So I'll reach out to them to find faculty who are available. From there, I reach out to the ones who say yes and they sign up. Hey, I need a class description, so we're able to put that in the program. And then we use that information also to plan out our marketing communication that goes out to prospective students and their families. So for example, if Dr. Eckroth is teaching a class on computer science or cybersecurity, I want our prospective students to know that he's going to be teaching, because if they have an interest in that, that may drive them to come to our open house this month versus the one in March.
Correct. Okay, so what is the most rewarding thing about being a director of campus?
The impact that I get to make on prospective students' lives and our current students. So I think both are really important. So I get to help cultivate you as a ambassador and as the rest of the 65 students to help you grow professionally. But in regards to Campus Visit and the support the ambassadors and everyone plays in Campus Visit, we actually get to make an impact in the student's life. We may not have been their first choice when they walk through the door, but my goal is that when they leave here, that we are their first choice, and that that impact is really big because we're helping change the trajectory of their 4 years and their experience here at Stetson.
Awesome. So everyone is different and they do things differently. What's your management style? How you get things done?
I'm an over communicator. So I prefer to communicate too much than not enough, just to make sure that, knowing that there's a lot of planning in it, I will make sure that we are being proactive in those planning and making sure that everything is aligned and ready to go. That way, if there is a hiccup, it's something that we can concentrate on, we can fix right away and move on, and it's not something that's going to take up a lot of time just because everything else is running smoothly. And I try not to be a micromanager, but that's something I'm working on.
Sounds good. So last but not least, what advice do you have for future business managers or someone in the same field? What's your advice for them?
Oh, my advice. Try to always put yourself in someone else's shoes to see how they're feeling. That's something I've been working on a lot, and I think it's something that will helps people with connecting and making sure that they're feeling valued and that they are important to the role that they're playing in whatever organization that you're in. Because if you have their buy-in, it's going to make the experience of whatever you're selling so much better, and it will help the role of the team come together in a more cohesive setting.
Correct. Well, thank you, Dana, for the interview, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.